the latest military news update. This is AFP Community News, hosted by Rofh Suzon every 12 noon, Mondays to Fridays. Only here on DWDD Armed Forces Radio. One AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Philippine Navy showcases first aerial spike and lost missile launch in Zambales. Army Chief backs Kado and boosts training and modernization in Batanes visit. COMEC identifies 12 hotspots in BARM elections. MMDA starts using body cameras for NCAP.
Hello to everyone, especially to our troops at Camp Emilio Ginaldo in Quezon City. Today is Thursday, September 11, and this is AFP Committee News, your source for the updates on the armed forces and other developments across the country. I am Rofh Suzon-Abay here to bring you today's stories.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
For the brief overview of our news, the Philippine Navy successfully conducted its first ever aerial launch of a Spike non-line of sight missile from an AW-159 anti-submarine helicopter during a live-fire exercise west of San Antonio, Zambales. The missile strike destroyed its designated target, followed by a coordinated surface launch from BRP Tomas Campo against another target. Rear Admiral Alan Javier, the Philippine Navy acting flag officer in command, monitored the event in real time with other senior fleet commanders at Naval Base Heracleo Alano in Cavite City. The exercise, supported by multiple naval, marine, and Coast Guard assets, marked a milestone in the Navy's modernization under the Comprehensive Archipelagic Defense Concept.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
The provincial government of Bukidnon reaffirmed its commitment to reintegrate former rebels by introducing new agricultural and economic programs during a peace summit yesterday. Governor Rogelio Neil Roque highlighted coffee farming and trade under the province's coffee roadmap as long-term opportunities for sustainable livelihood. At the summit organized with various government agencies, former rebels recited the Panumpa sa Pakig-Unong or the Peace Covenant, led by Major General Michel Anayron Jr., the commander of the 4th Infantry Division. The pledge signified their commitment to abandon armed struggle and embrace peace, unity, and nation-building with the government and the Filipino people.
Armed Forces Radio.
Some information from CAF about anti-FL-CAC backs De La Rosa's anti-terror grooming bill to shield the vulnerable Filipinos.
Yes, Rofh, good noon. The National Task Force to End Local Communist Armed Conflict expressed strong support for Senator Ronald Bato de la Rosa's proposed Terror Grooming and Radicalization Prevention Act SBN 1366. The task force stressed that the bill will protect vulnerable groups, particularly youth, indigenous peoples, and farmers who are often targeted by terrorist recruitment. Anti-FL-CAC highlighted that the measure will empower communities, disrupt radicalization, and provide rehabilitation for victims. Executive Director Undersecretary Ernesto C. Torres Jr. urged lawmakers and Filipinos to unite behind the bill, saying it is a crucial step toward lasting peace and security. This is Kat reporting for AFP Community News, one AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Thank you so much, Kath.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
The 8th Infantry Stormtroopers Division concluded its 2-week disaster response and rescue operations training at its headquarters in Catbalogan City, Samar. 28 soldiers completed the course, enhancing the division's readiness to respond to calamities in Eastern Visayas. Colonel Luzelito Betinol, the OIC of the Office of the Chief of Staff, led the graduation rites and urged the participants to share their skills with their units and communities. The training highlighted the Army's commitment to humanitarian service, equipping troops to act as both defenders and first responders in times of crisis.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
Army Chief Lieutenant General Antonio Navarrete reaffirmed support for the comprehensive archipelagic defense cooperations during his visit to Mavulis Island, Batanes. He highlighted large-scale exercises like Combined Arms Training Exercise or Katihan and the integration of drone technology as key steps toward external defense. The Army is enhancing force projection to secure the exclusive economic zone in close coordination with the Navy and Air Force. He also stressed innovative training and human capital development to strengthen the Army's workforce.
Armed Forces Radio.
From NOLCOM, let's hear some information from UN about reservist leaders and military officers visit Batanes Island Outpost.
Promoting among countrymen a deeper sense of patriotism and responsibility and underscoring Philippine sovereignty, top military commanders and reservist leaders installed a marker and raised the Philippine flag at the northernmost tip of the Philippine archipelago on September 10, 2025. The delegation was led by Philippine Army Commanding General Lieutenant General Antonio Navarrete, Northern Luzon Command Commander Lieutenant General Fernil Buca, and Western Command Commander Rear Admiral Alfonso Torres Jr., joined by Major General Galiver Sinieres, Commander of the 5th Infantry Division, Reservist Colonel Mikey Romero, Chairman of the Association of Reservists and Reservist Administrator of the Philippines, and former Deputy Speaker of the House, and Lieutenant Colonel Floreto Solano of the Philippine Air Force Reserve. Together, they unveiled the marker and raised the Philippine flag at the country's northernmost flagpole located at the peak of Mavulis Island, facing Taiwan and the Bashi Channel. This symbolic gesture not only reaffirmed the Philippines' commitment to defending its territory but also honoring the sacrifices of soldiers stationed in far-flung posts. More than a ceremonial act, the initiative is a powerful message of unity and love of country. It seeks to inspire the Filipino people by promoting a deeper sense of patriotism, national pride, and responsibility in safeguarding the country's sovereignty. This is John Sagao reporting for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for Stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Juan from NOLCOM.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
The Department of Education, in partnership with the National Task Force for the West Philippine Sea and the Philippine Coast Guard, will institutionalize the teaching of the West Philippine Sea in the Araling Panlipunan curriculum starting school year 2026. The lessons will be introduced in grades 4, 6, and 10 to strengthen awareness of the country's sovereign rights and territorial integrity. The initiative seeks to shape informed and patriotic youth who appreciate the nation's maritime heritage. DepEd also emphasized that educating students about the West Philippine Sea reinforces the unity and national pride.
DWDD National News.
For our national news, the Commission on Elections has identified 12 municipalities in the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao as areas of concern for the upcoming BARM parliamentary elections. All 12 municipalities were classified under the red category. This means they have a history of election-related violence and presence of armed and other threat groups that may compromise the conduct of a free and fair elections. COMEC Chairperson George Garcia said the 6 municipalities in Lanao del Sur were placed under the red category, 5 in Maguindanao del Sur, and 1 in Basilan.
Armed Forces Radio.
Let us hear more updates from Miami about AFP Chief joins ASEAN Defense Talks Philippines to host next summit.
The Armed Forces of the Philippines Chief of Staff, General Romeo Browner Jr., is attending the 22nd Asian Chief of Defense Forces meeting in Kuala Lumpur from September 9 to 12, 2025. He urged Asian defense leaders to stay united against coercive and aggressive actions amid rising geopolitical rivalries. Chaired by Malaysia, the forum tackled the proposed Asian Combined Task Force joint military exercise and the Asian-China Code of Conduct. The Philippines formally received the ACD-FM chairmanship and will host the 23rd meeting in Manila in May 2026. This is Amir reporting for AFP Community News, One AFP for Stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Amy.
DWDD National News.
The Committee on Appropriations at the House of Representatives gave the Department of Public Works and Highways more time to review its proposed 2026 DPWH budget. Nueva Ecija 1st District Representative Micaela Angela Suwansing read the letter from the DPWH that was asking for an extension. Baguio Representative Mauricio Domogan and Aurora Representative Romel Rico Angara then separately made motions for the extension. The motions seconded were carried by the committee.
DWDD National News.
Senate President Vicente Soto III said he has not yet signed the recommendation to allow contractors Curly and Sara Discaya to become state witnesses. Soto said that Senator Rodante Marcoleta, the former Senate Blue Ribbon Committee chairperson, made the recommendation. The Senate President added that he forwarded the supposed letter to now Senate Blue Ribbon Committee Chair Senator Panfilo Lacson, and they will talk about it first. The Discayas disclosed Monday the names of several congressmen, their staff, and officials of the Department of Public Works and Highways allegedly involved in corruption in the country's flood control projects.
Armed Forces Radio.
On the other line, let's hear more from Mike about Fort ID backs Caraga Peace Drive, supports former rebels reintegration.
The 4th Infantry Diamond Division joined government and community partners in the Community Assembly for Peace and Development in Butuan City. The event, led by Office of the Presidential Advisor on Peace, Reconciliation and Unity, launched the United Karaganon for Peace and Development Federation Incorporated and issued 144 safe conduct passes to amnesty applicants. Former rebels shared testimonies of reintegration, including success stories in education and livelihood with government support. Port ID Commander Major General Michael Anayron Jr. reaffirmed division's commitment to peace building, stressing unity as the foundation for lasting development in Caraga. This is Mike reporting for AFP Community News, One AFP for a Stronger Philippines.
Thank you so much, Mike.
DWDD National News.
Moreover, Executive Secretary Lucas Bersamin said the independent commission to probe the alleged anomalous flood control projects would not be in conflict with the ongoing congressional investigation and the same scandal. In a chance interview at the Senate, Bersamin said it may be about fact-finding only. He added that the government wants all sectors of society to contribute to the effort to find facts about these issues and flood control anomalies. The palace official was at the Senate when he defended the budget of the Office of the President before the Senate Committee on Finance.
DWDD National News.
Senate President Vicente Soto III ordered the transfer of former District Engineer Bryce Hernandez to the Pasay City Jail. The Senate last Monday detained Hernandez after he was cited in contempt for then denying reports that he frequented casinos. Hernandez appealed to Soto not to be brought back to the Senate Detention Center after implicating several lawmakers and Department of Public Works and Highways officials in alleged anomalies surrounding the government's flood control projects. Soto and House Rep Speaker Martin Romualdez agreed to detain Hernandez at the Philippine National Police Custodial Center. And last Wednesday, the senators then had a brief meeting and in the end agreed to transfer Hernandez to the Pasay City Jail.
Armed Forces Radio.
And more updates from Jimboy's Second ID and Advisory Board set agenda for Peace 2025 and military lands.
2nd Infantry Jungle Fighter Division and its Multi-Sector Advisory Board met at Camp Kapinpin, Tanay Rizal yesterday to discuss October Peace 2025 and military reservation issues. 2nd ID Commander Major General Ramon Zagala and MSAB Chairperson Ms. Agustiniana Abilino lead the talk on sustaining peace effort and preserving military land. Major General Zagala stressed that October Peace 2025 success requires support from LGU's agencies and community leaders. He reaffirmed 2nd ID commitment in protecting reservation as key defense and development asset. This is Jimboy reporting for AFP Community News 1 AFP for Stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Jimboy.
DWDD National News.
On the other hand, Senator Ping Lacson said he would conduct an internal cleansing of the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee after a staff member of the panel was linked to a bribery scandal. Lacson said he would prioritize the internal cleansing as he buckles down to work and continues where the former panel head has left off. He emphasized the cleansing was important as the Blue Ribbon Committee is tasked to look into government misconduct and to check accountability. The senator issued the statement after an alleged staff of Senator Jingoy Estrada was linked to a supposed delivery of obligation during an inquiry on anomalous flood control projects at the House of Representatives last Tuesday.
DWDD National News.
For other national news, the Philippine Embassy in Doha reported no Filipino was affected in the attack that Israel carried out last Tuesday against Hamas leaders in Qatar. In advisory, the embassy urged the Filipinos to remain calm, monitor news from credible sources, and heed the advice of local authorities. They added that they should stay indoors and avoid public spaces unless absolutely necessary. The Department of Foreign Affairs declined to comment on media queries about the Philippine government's position on Israel's attack.
Armed Forces Radio.
From our reporter on the ground, let us hear the report of Gina about PMA cadets gain life-saving skills in tactical combat casualty care training.
Yes, Rofh, the Philippine Military Academy trained cadets of the Cadet Corps Armed Forces of the Philippines in Tactical Combat Casualty Care in Baguio City. Major Renato M. Enesorio III, Assistant Commandant of the Health Services School, Tradoc, Philippine Army, lectured on the importance of TCC Tier 1 in sustaining operations. Cadets engaged in simulation-based exercises to practice life-saving techniques. The training enhanced their confidence and decision-making skills for real-world emergencies. This is Gina reporting for AFP Community News 1 AFP for Stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Gina.
DWDD National News.
Traffic enforcers started wearing body cameras yesterday to enhance the implementation of the no-contact apprehension policy of the Metropolitan Manila Development Authority. MMDA Chairperson Romanda Artes said swift traffic action group personnel would use body cameras to film operations against illegal parking and other road clearing efforts. Erring motorists will receive notices of violation for illegal parking. MMDA added that notices and body camera footage will be subjected to manual review by NCAP personnel.
DWDD National News.
The Presidential Anti-Organized Crime Commission has set up a special desk for foreign nationals victimized by crimes in the country. PAWAC Chief Gilbert Cruz said the Korean desk has been established in Manila and Cebu. A Chinese desk will be launched in the coming weeks to address the concerns raised by embassies. Cruz said the initiative was discussed with the embassies of South Korea, China, Japan, Australia, and the United States following cases of fraud and violent crimes involving foreigners.
DWDD National News.
7 volcanic earthquakes have been monitored around Canlaon volcano on Negros Island in the past 24 hours. According to FIVOX, Canlaon emitted 1,248 tons of sulfur dioxide, which produced plumes that rose 600 meters and drifted westward. Ground deformation data show the volcano's edifices remain inflated. Canlon remains under alert level 2 or moderate level of unrest, which may indicate a potential for sudden explosions and other volcanic hazards.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
And that concludes today's broadcast, and thank you for tuning in, especially to our audience on AFP Radio, the WDD's Facebook page. Be sure to join and catch us again tomorrow for more stories and updates, same time and same station. Once again, this is Rofh Suzon-Abay for AFP Committee News, one AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Behold the latest military news update. This is AFP Community News, hosted by Rofh Suzon every 12 noon, Mondays to Fridays. Only here on DWDD Armed Forces Radio. One AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Ito ang DWDD 1134 kHz AM. Balita, impormasyon at musika. Ito ang DWDD AFP Radio. Boses ng Kawal Pilipino.
Kayo ay nakatutok sa DWDD AFP Radio. Kami po ay kasapi ng KBP, Kapisanan ng mga Broadcaster ng Pilipinas.